Welcome to this explainer. Today we are tackling what is arguably the single biggest threat to your savings rate. I'm talking about the massive financial minefield that is the weekend. Living in or near a major city is supposed to be the ultimate dream, right? You've got access to incredible culture, amazing food, just endless entertainment. But as we're going to explore today, navigating those 2 days off can completely sabotage your financial goals if you aren't careful. Okay, let's dive into this.
Society has totally conditioned us with this really specific and honestly really expensive script for what it actually means to have a good time. Just think about it for a second. We're practically programmed to believe that enjoying the city requires constantly opening our wallets. We routinely go out for $100 dinners without a second thought. We don't even blink at paying $40 just for the privilege of parking our car at a venue. We'll easily drop $30 simply to walk through the front doors of a museum. We've been completely conditioned to equate spending money with actually experiencing life.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the weekend wealth drain. So there's this massive tension here, right? You really want to experience the vibrant culture of a major city, but man, the intense pressure that puts on your finances is huge. This is especially true for anyone out there trying to escape the cubicle and achieve FIRE, financial independence, retire early. The pressure to just keep up with standard city spending can completely derail those goals. So I want to pause right here and actually challenge you. Be honest and calculate your own recent weekend spending. From the exact moment you clocked out on Friday at 5 p.m. all the way to Sunday evening at 9 p.m. What was the total? Go ahead, just mentally tally up the brunches, the drinks, the tickets, the ride shares. If the number popping into your head right now makes you cringe even a little bit, you really need to pay close attention to the rest of this explainer. Which brings us to section 2. The frugal martyr trap. It's a massive overcorrection. See, when people pursuing financial independence wake up to just how much the weekend actually costs, they often make this huge overcorrected mistake. On one side, you have the frugal martyr. In an attempt to protect their savings rate, they swing the pendulum entirely in the opposite direction. They decide they aren't going to spend a single dime, so they literally lock themselves inside their apartments. They refuse to meet up with friends, they turn down every single invitation, and they basically treat their present life like some miserable waiting room for the future. But look, if you try to save money by just staring at a wall, you will inevitably burn out. And you know what that leads to? It leads right back to the other extreme, the weekend spender. You eventually just snap, you go out, and you blow $300 in a single night just to feel something. Both of these paths are incredibly destructive. So the absolutely crucial point here is redefining what we're actually aiming for. As our source material points out, true financial success absolutely requires 3 things: freedom, purpose, and relationships. Think about it. If you hit your FIRE number, that magic retirement savings goal, but you've alienated all your friends because you refuse to ever leave your house, well, you haven't really won the game. You might just end up being the richest person in the graveyard. And honestly, that completely defeats the entire purpose of financial independence. Let me ask you this. Have you ever done this? Have you ever completely tanked your own mood and your whole weekend just because you felt way too guilty to spend $15 on a shared experience with your friends? It's a really miserable feeling. But here is the good news, and honestly the major turning point of this whole explainer. You don't actually need to spend money to unlock the absolute best parts of your city. You really don't have to choose between your savings rate and your social life. Let's move into section 3. Exploiting free city infrastructure. To survive the city without destroying your timeline, you've got to shift your perspective. You need to move away from buying entertainment and start aggressively exploiting your city's free infrastructure. Think about it. When you pay high housing costs or high taxes to live in a populated area, you are essentially prepaying for massive community benefits. Let's look at a really specific blueprint: exploiting First Fridays. Almost every major city has a day where massive cultural institutions open their doors entirely for free. The steps are super simple. First, identify those institutions. Second, walk there if you can. Third, just enjoy it. Our source material cites a really great example of walking into a local history museum to check out this massive 250-year history exhibit. It provided hours of world-class entertainment, and the absolute only cost was the calories it took to walk to the venue. Let's do a quick comparison here. Would you rather drop $100 on a totally mediocre dinner in a loud, cramped restaurant where you can't even hear the person sitting across from you? Or would you rather spend literally $0, laying out on a blanket, listening to free live music in a gorgeous garden? A lot of local fine arts museums treat their sprawling grounds like a giant backyard for the city on Friday evenings. Hundreds of people turn out. And instead of buying the expensive food on site, you just pack a homemade picnic, lay out your blanket, and enjoy a top-tier cultural event for absolutely free. All right, on to section 4,
the $0 blueprint.
Saturday and Sunday are all about maximizing local events and community. And here is a fantastic secondary benefit of pursuing financial independence. Because you're actively avoiding that bloated, exhausting lifestyle that requires working a 60-hour week, you actually have the physical and mental energy required to hunt down these free city events. Here's what that playbook looks like in action. You can hit massive outdoor festivals, like the River Rock Festival mentioned in our sources, which offers an entire weekend dedicated to bouldering, kayaking, and biking. You can go watch air dogs launch themselves into rivers, and yes, that is exactly as majestic as it sounds. You can grab your bikes and ride extensive local trails like the Capital 2 Capital Trail with a group of friends. It's wildly entertaining, and again, you simply bring your own snacks to keep the whole shebang at $0.
Take this concept of extreme urban walking. I know it sounds intense, but it's an incredibly simple, completely free hobby. You literally just pack some water and go on a marathon-length walk. We're talking upwards of 20 miles, straight through different neighborhoods in your city. It is a fantastic way to clear your head, explore areas you usually just drive past, and get an incredible workout, all without swiping your credit card a single time.
But hey, beyond the physical activities, a $0 weekend is heavily about leaning into your community. You can catch free, local, amateur concert band performances right in front of historic buildings. Or, keeping it even simpler, you can host a shared meal at your house where every single guest just brings one ingredient. You throw it all together to make dinner. The source material emphasizes this perfectly. You absolutely do not need to spend money to build deep, meaningful relationships.
And you know what? That leads us right to the emotional core of this entire concept. The extraordinary is always rooted in the mundane. You do not have to put your life on hold, guys. You don't have to wait until you hit some massive multi-million-dollar fire number to start experiencing the magic of your city or the joy of your friendships. The absolute best things are already accessible to you right now.
When you finally shift your mindset away from default consumption, you realize that joy truly does not require a credit card. Whether it's taking a sunset walk with someone you haven't spoken to in ages, hosting a board game night that gets way too competitive, or honestly, just having a picnic right on your living room floor, the best things your area has to offer are completely free. It's about presence, not purchase. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to really chew on. Take a hard look at where you live right now. What is your city's absolute best free perk, park, or festival? I highly encourage you to identify it this week and make a concrete plan to exploit that infrastructure this coming weekend. It is time to stop draining your wealth out of sheer habit and start actually enjoying your present life for free. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I really hope this transforms exactly how you look at your next Saturday and Sunday.